Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Dalton of Dalton95, and just like I promised last year, there's some face cam in this. There's not going to be a whole lot because, I've got figures to show off. So actually, you know what? I think we'll do face cam throughout the whole thing. So, welcome to TF21 of 21. I think this is the last time I'm going to do the huge number. I think next year it'll just stick to 20, even though I'm doing 21 this year. I just said, you know what, screw it. Anyways, want to start off with saying like this year has been nuts as far as collecting and just in general. Like moments it goes slow, then moments it just flies by super quick. December and November just flew by super fast. Starting a new job and dealing with all that. I'm no longer working where I used to. Obviously, starting a new job. Hello. Anyways, so yeah, let's go ahead and get into this top 5 disappointing figures or worst figures that I've gotten this year. Ones that, I was really looking forward to and just they didn't live up to the hype or just were complete trash altogether. So that being said, let's go ahead and get into number 1 or number 5. All right, so number 5 for worst or disappointing figures of the year is going to be Studio Series Cup, because there's a lot to like about this guy, but there's also a lot wrong with them, especially after seeing the buzzworthy one that was leaked or announced, whatever, recently. That's a little bit better. Chief among them is just the face sculpt. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm not a fan of the light piping just being so dead. The chest detail should really be just kind of this shade of blue. The fact he doesn't have wrist swivel, and during transformation his lens will just pop off due to the gimmick. So yeah, kind of disappointed on that one. Number 4 for me is going to be Fangry, because, Titan's Return, it was alright, but then you started getting into the monster bots, and with each one, the QC started getting worse, and Fangry is no exception. His is probably the worst out of all 4 versions of this mold family. His legs are super loose and floppy, the wings, it just doesn't feel good with the current, design choice or design family. It doesn't fit with the design choices of the War for Cybertron trilogy. So yeah, very disappointed on Fangry. Number 3 is going to be Scorponok. He still looks good in robot mode. He is a little bit short and squat, but there have been a few sacrifices that I don't like that they made with this guy. They completely cut out any tapering for the waist, so he's just kind of torso, tiny waist. He's got all this hollowness in his tail where the robot legs go into, the transformation. I don't know, he's not terrible, but for a Beast Wars character, it is very disappointing. And speaking of which, number 2, unfortunately, is going to be Rhinox, because I don't like it. I got it, but I feel like I wasted my money on it. I should have waited for this to go on sale or clearance, or just, found it locally instead of paying a markup at a convention. So I think that was another thing. Plus having the Thrilling 30, absolutely love that figure. I was really let down. The head sculpt doesn't look anything like Rhinox. These tiny little guns don't do anything for me, so yeah. Unfortunately, that's my number 2. And for me, the worst figure to come out in 2021, Kingdom Tracks. Got these loose legs. I think for the most part I've got them fixed, but in vehicle mode they still like to pop apart. The whole vehicle mode being made of clear plastic, not a good idea. And just the lack of articulation at the elbows, you only get 90, nothing at the wrists. He's got the floating feet from the MP. Just very unhappy with how this turned out. Then the hips were really loose and floppy. I had to go in there and tighten those up. And just not impressed. So that is my worst figure of 2021. It's the bad figure pile. There you go, Joe. There's you a pile. So let's go on to the 21 bots of 2021. All right, so for number 21 on our list of top 2021 figures, here we've got Kingdom Mirage, and he's lower on this list mostly because you have to get him in a 2-pack with a version of Grimlock that's not the best, but again, not bad enough to end up on my disappointing figures list because it is growing on me. So, got Earth Mode Mirage. He does have a little upgrade I got from a friend of mine, just sent it to me out of nowhere. So, we got that. So yeah, number 21 is Mirage. It's nice to have him with, all opaque plastic, no scares of translucent plastic breaking, and, a nice vehicle mode, so you do have that. Number 20, as much as it pains me to say it, is going to be the Kingdom Dinobot due to lack of paint, some of the weird joint and transformation issues, and, wobbly waist on the figure. That's not a huge deal breaker, but it is. I mean, he's still absolutely fun. I do enjoy this figure. It's nice to have a Voyager class representation of Dinobot, and I'm still happy to have it. It's just a lot of those issues with lack of paint and some of the weird choices with design has knocked it down. So there is 20 and 21. Let's go ahead and go on to number 19, which is going to be the Earthrise Galactic Odyssey Barricade. And I really do like it. It's a nice representation of movie-style Barricade in G1. And the toy hacks really do help that quite a bit. So you get the little homages to the movie with the 643, the police badge, the Punish and Enslave on the legs. And yeah, I mean, you could even pair him up with your Frenzy from Siege, or, if you want to have the blue one as Frenzy, use that one. Number 18 on the list is going to be the Studio Series Sweep. It does have a better color scheme than Scourge, and that's the main reason why it's on here, is I do like the more vibrant blue of the sweeps. So yeah, very happy with that. The transformation is fairly fun. It's not just your typical giant shell around, even though it kind of is. It's a little bit more involved than, say, the Titan's Return, but do love how well that turned out. So number 17 on our list is going to be, Studio Series Jazz. I'm so glad to have a more accurate looking representation of G1 Jazz from an official means. And again, the toy hacks bring it a long way from what it was. You got the nice striping there, same with on the back of the car, windshield. You get the actual martini and number 4 under the arm. And the fact that he has the backpack and not the wings, so he is more cartoon accurate, even better. And then the fenders, having to paint there thanks to the stickers. I'm really happy to finally have a Jazz that looks fairly good. Again, thing that knocks it down, all translucent back here, and it's been shattering for a lot of people. Thankfully with mine, that has not happened. So just be aware of that. Number 16 is going to be, this is a tough one, but it's going to go to Shattered Glass Blur. So, very nice color scheme on this guy. I mean, it's even better than the Studio Series due to that new head sculpt that actually fits a little bit better than the giant chin that the Studio Series had. I do love the lightning details along the arms and the back, for the front of the vehicle mode. But I would have preferred if they put the Autobot symbol here on the blue paint instead of there. Just put a white background around the purple. Just my opinion on that. Number 15 is going to go to Studio Series Hot Rod. I mean, he does do the job of being a fairly good hot rod, and he is pretty close to that magenta color that we were wanting. Would have preferred just a little bit closer to that, but still really happy with it. He does have toy hacks, making that chest flame pop a little bit more. And yeah, I mean, transformation's fun. The vehicle mode looks okay, but I mean, you're really getting these guys for the robot mode and for the ladder's darkest hour scene, which we will get to later. So what are we on, number 13? Hang on a second. Okay, so number 14 is going to be the Kingdom Rodimus Prime. He's better than Hot Rod in the fact that the vehicle mode looks really, really damn good. And, you know, the transformation on this is a lot more fun than the Studio Series. He's got the trailer, which can detach the battle platform. You can store figures in there. Unlike the Earthrise Prime, you can store bigger than just Bumblebee or the Siege Datsun Brothers. Fairly good amount of articulation, much like the Studio Series. You do get some articulated fingers, so you can do the whole, this is the end of the road scene. You got the opening chest for the Matrix, unlike the Studio Series, so you can open that up. Though, you know, this isn't hard mainly for me due to the face and the fact that the rims are unpainted. I know that's not the end of the world, but come on, you're gonna put all this love into it. Paint the rims, do a better job on the face sculpt, because he's looking rough. Like, that's, yeah, not the best, easily not the worst. Number 13 is going to go to the Nemesis Primal from the Buzzworthy Worlds Collide set. At first, I really hated the color scheme on this. I didn't like the purple, you know, monkey flesh with the black fur, but in hand, in robot mode, the purple really looks good. Like, it's growing on me. I do like the new faceplate. Actually, I think it's just a whole new head sculpt. But the colors really work here. Like, the red blades work, the teal, silver, everything works in robot mode. A lot better than beast mode. Would have preferred if we got Burning Convoy or even Universe Deco for Shattered Glass. But hey, there's some hope for the future with some of the leaks we've seen recently. So there is number 13. And number 12 is going to be... Now, I got this in 2021. It didn't come out this year, which, you know, thankfully, something on here that didn't come out in 2021, which, you know, one of the next things will be something that didn't come out. But anyways, number 12 is Nemesis Prime from Earthrise. And I really like it. It looks so good in robot mode. I really hope we get a Earthrise repaint matching this pattern, you know, with the trim around the windows, having different accessories, but still would be nice to have an Earth mode version of this. Number 11 is none other than the Siege Omega Supreme. I finally bit the bullet and got this guy. I think it was on sale. I can't remember. But yeah, I am finally happy to say that I've got this guy. And yeah, it's another Titan for the shelf, and might have 2 more of this mold coming for me. Maybe just 1. I don't see the need in getting 2 more Guardian robots, but we'll see. So yeah, finally got the big Mamma Jamma himself. I need to get some toy hacks for him, but really happy to have this. He is a lot of fun to pose. He's got not as much as Scorponok, but he's still really, really fun. So really happy to finally have him. And that brings us now to our top 10. So hopefully this is the same order. It's going to be maybe slightly different than what I did in Stasis Lock, but it's still the same top 10 figures in roughly the same order. Some of them are going to be a little switched around, but hey, we'll see. So number 10 is going to be the Generation Selects repaint of Kingdom Galvatron. I do really like the Studio Series one, or the Kingdom one, but the dark purple and then the shoulder issues, the space mud, kind of knocked him down a few pegs because, this one just right out of the package looks good. Like, the toy deco looks good on this mold. I will say that. I do kind of like the sparkly cannon, the green matrix based on the comics, and just the color layout actually looks really good. And like I've said on there, I don't plan on doing the stickers, at least for the time being, mostly because I hope Toy Hacks does better quality ones for this. So we'll see, but as it is, I really do like it. So there's Galvatron. Moving on to number 9, I think I gave it to Black Rachnia. She's still really great. I really enjoy having this representation of her on my shelf, though there are a few things that kind of knock it down for me. Mostly the issue with the breastplate, breaking at the peg. Some of the joints can be really tight and scary, like turning her head around, especially on the Buzzworthy set. So close to snapping that neck joint because it is a really tiny ball peg back there. So be careful of that. Knees, not as scary as the Masterpiece to bend. But like I said, some of the joints are a little scary to move. But at the end of the day, she still looks really good. Still worthy of your top 10. My top 10. This is all subjective, by the way. Number 9, I think I gave it to Studio, or number 8, I think I gave it to Studio Series Retgar. Really, really fun figure, and perfect for troop building. I mean, we're supposedly getting junkyards, so you can have 2 of them. And Nanaf, I believe, said that they're creating some upgrade parts for this, so you can have multiple different Junkions. So definitely a fun transformation, decent posability, and just looks really good. It is the best Retgar you could get for your Generations shelf. And yeah, I mean, I've got some pictures on Instagram if you want to go check it out. Number 7. Is that right? 7? Yeah. Is going to Studio Series Grimlock. Really, really fun figure. I enjoyed the hell out of this thing. Easily the best, Generation scale Grimlock we've ever gotten. Though, like with the Toy Hack stuff, you do have to upgrade this a little bit. I've got the Nanaf forearm fillers, the sword, a dark chest piece, even though it's supposed to be clear. I like the slightly darker, not as dark as what we got with the retail release, but still looks really good. Some of the things in Dino mode kind of ruin it, like these giant flaps being just there, and the looseness of these wings, but still, like I said, really fun figure, and I absolutely love this. I cannot wait for the rest of the Dinobots. You can see I've got Slag right over there. No, we can't see him behind Unicron. So, yeah, so there's number 7. And number 6 is going to the Kingdom or War for Cybertron trilogy PulseCon exclusive Ravage from the 2-pack. Specifically, the one from Beast Wars. Just the level of changing they've done to the Cheetor mold. Like, I think the only thing that's still remaining from Cheetor are the front legs and the robot legs from the knees down. So just all of that new molding to pull this off, very, very impressed. Only real complaint is, better feet and the legs hanging off the back. Like, even with the Beast mode, it's better than most representations of Beast Wars Ravage. So I am really happy to have this finally. Or not finally, but just a Generations representation. Doesn't have a squished head, doesn't have a vehicle mode. There you go. Number 5. All right, number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Number 5 is going to be Airazor. And as far as I'm concerned, she is the best Kingdom Deluxe class figure. Molding, transformation, posability. I absolutely love this figure. Really wish she had gotten a more show accurate deco, because this kind of toy accurate VHS, toy accurate deco does look good. I would definitely prefer something closer to the show. But I've had so much fun posing her, just try to get her into different flying poses and everything. Just love it. Absolutely love it. Number 4 is going to be Tigatron from Kingdom. And again, best Voyager figure in my opinion from the Kingdom toy line. Like, Hasbro took everything that was good about Cheetor and got rid of the bad and made this better. Like, he doesn't have the feet sticking out as much. He doesn't have the jaw being folded back and then something jammed into his mouth. Don't have the issue with the back of the head breaking from beast mode. So yeah, and he still looks fairly close to the show model, even with, you know, the feet sticking out here and the whip that he never had. But very impressed. Very, very impressed, Hasbro. So we got that. And for number 3, we've got the Transart, I want to say Leopard Commander or Jaguar Commander. Transart Masterpiece Transmetal Cheetor. Like, I cannot express how much I enjoy this. The die cast in the legs and feet, even in the front beast mode legs, it cleans up really well. Posability is greatly improved from the original figure, even down to having an articulated jaw, ball jointed head, and then the bendy tail, so it's not just in one pose. And he actually has decent hand or, you know, wrist articulation. Very happy about this. Like, it may not be as extravagant as some of the, you know, regular Masterpiece stuff or even some of the Hasbro stuff, but personally, I'm very happy to have a Transmetal Cheetor in Masterpiece scale in my collection. So there is that. Number 2 is, again, Transart. It's going to be their Black Agent Ravage. And again, very impressed with what they've done to change Cheetor into this. Beast mode, like I said, sucks. Like, no doubt about that. But having this with the magnets in the hips and just how shiny and glossy it looks, I love it. So, again, very impressed with that. And before we go on to number 1, let's go and talk about some honorable mentions. All right, first up on our list of honorable mentions is Diver from Beast Wars 2nd. I want to give a huge shout out to my buddy Tyler for selling this to me. Finally completing my core 5 Maximals or Cybertrons from the series. So yeah, very happy to have that. Come on, there we go. So yeah, Diver. Next one is going to be the Kingdom class, or Kingdom Deluxe class Warpath. He's a very fun little figure, and yeah, I'm so glad that we got a good update of Warpath compared to the Combiner Wars one. So yeah, there's Warpath, bing, bang, boom, pow, whatever, any explosive sound you can make. Next is going to be, actually, hang on. All right, as I was saying, next is going to be the Earthrise Coneheads. So I was finally able to get, you know, Ramjet and Dirge thanks to Angry Mike. Sent me over to the Command store, CMD store, where I got these. A little bit of a markup, but nowhere near like $300-400, not even over $100, like a lot of secondary market people were selling them for. So super happy to finally have those. And the last honorable mention I have before we go on to our big final one, Core Class Soundwave. This is the most fun little figure out of the entire Core Class line. Like, he turns into a brick, but he looks so good while doing it. I am very impressed with this. I really hope Hasbro continues this quality for Core Class. Not Hot Rod. This. This is a good Core Class figure, so I hope we see more like this. Even, you know, in fact, he's got Laserbeak, just a little Laserbeak tape they can store in there. Just love it. So, without further ado, the number one figure of 2021 is right behind me. Right there. Unicron himself. I am ecstatic with how good this figure turned out. The transformation is a big pain in the ass. But having it there in robot mode, it looks so good. I turned it back to planet mode, just, you know, something to do occasionally, like every 6 months or so, change him back and forth. I don't know. So yeah, right now he's in planet mode. He'll probably go back into robot mode here in the next month or two. So just something to keep in mind. But yeah, there was no way that this figure was not going to be in the 2021 number one list or spot. Just the sheer presence that he has on a shelf just absolutely blew me away when I pulled out the packaging, put it all together. This thing is, I can't help but gush about it. Like, it is such a fun, not really fun, but it is a nice display piece. Robot mode looks amazing, even with the Pringles, whatever. I don't care. I don't want a super clean, perfect looking Unicron on my shelf. I want a big, nasty, ugly looking demon of a Unicron on my shelf. I want him to look threatening, just huge and massive. So yeah, that's why Unicron made my number one spot for 2021. So like I said, this is all subjective. Let me know down in the comments what your top 10 or whatever number characters are. Let me know what you think. It is, like I said, completely subjective. This is not objective fact. This is my personal top 20, or at this point, top 31, because I included disappointing and 5, 6 honorable mentions. So top 32 figures, whatever. Point is, that's primarily my 2021 list. And yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure, like I said, comment down below. Let me know your top 21 or top 10. Maybe top 10, just to make it easier for you. So not that I meant to word it that way, like just to make it easier for me to read and everything. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like I said, be sure to comment, like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, I guess, and check out all the other stuff I've got coming out. Things have got kind of slowing down due to my work schedule, but I'm hoping to get some more stuff out soon. So see you guys next time, and hope you guys have a better 2022 than your 2021. I know I'm going to try my damnedest to have a good year this year, but it all depends on environmental things, in my personal environment, not, climate and stuff. We're not going to get into that. Just, my personal life. Just hope things go better. So, hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to stop rambling now so you guys can get on with your life and start your 2022 happily and healthily. So, if you're doing anything fun for the 31st or, yesterday, hope it was safe. Hope you guys didn't go too crazy. I'm recording this on the 31st as we speak. So, yeah. I'm going to stop rambling now and see you guys next time.